Hello there, everybody, HeroicLegend here. We are back once again with Master Duels. This time I have for you guys, I don't know if I've posted about this yet, but, I might have. Oh, yeah, we got some, you can ignore these. Actually, what did I get in this deck? Did I get stuff that could help me? Ooh, 2 MSTs and 2 greed shards? I actually did get something. 3 MSTs! Hello, very nice, very nice. Super nice. 2 warrior returning alive, too. And kunai with chain! Sorry. Yeah, I just got that for hitting level 11. I also got the Heir to the Shiranui style and the Roar of the Gladiator Beast. As you can see, we have 2 decks here. Ghost Trick and Treat, and then Ghost Trick and Trick. I may rename that again. I actually wanted to show off this deck for you guys, so it's a deck list today. I'll be reading out the cards and what I have in them and what my idea behind the deck is. Starting off, we have a Ghost Trick Lantern. We have 3 copies of this in the deck. The idea behind this card, well, I'm just going to read out the effect and I'll let you guys make your judgments. Now have a normal summon unless you control a Ghost Trick monster. Once per turn, you can change this card's face on defense position. When an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, or when a Ghost Trick monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can negate the attack, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand face down defense position. Kind of a card you want to bounce back to your hand, but I'm kind of happy just like having it and using it for synchro plays. If I had more of an Exceeds card, you'll see why I wish I had more of that Exceeds card. But moving on, we have this adorable little guy, the Ghost Trick Spectre. Same as before, Ghost Tricks actually cannot be normal summoned unless there's a Ghost Trick monster in the field. So if you want to summon any Ghost Tricks, you have to first set one down and then hope that it survives. But even if it doesn't, once per turn, you can change this card to face down the defense position. When a Ghost Trick monster is destroyed by an opponent's card effect or by battle with their attacking monster and sends to the graveyard, you can special summon this adorable little guy from your hand in face down defense position, and if you do, draw a card. That's why I have 3 copies of him in here. He's a potential draw. I believe similar to him is Jack Frost. Yeah, you can change it. Oh no, when an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can change that opponent's monster to face down defense position. And if you do, special summon this card from your hand, face down defense position. Jack Frost is adorable. We run 2 copies of Jack. We only run 2 copies of Ghost Trick Fairy because they are SRs and I was struggling to get them. But yeah, that's why there's only 2. Anyway, Ghost Trick Fairy. Once per turn, you can change this card face down. Yeah, when flip face up, you target one Ghost Trick in your graveyard, set that card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Then you can change face up monsters your opponent controls face on defense position up to the number of set cards you control. So you kind of want a Ghost Trick Fairy and then like have stuff out. She is more defensive, but I actually do like her for other types of plays you can make with her. Really good for going into one of the Exceeds monsters as well. Because you can pull cards out the graveyard, especially if you're dumping them for whatever reason. Ghost Trick Jiangxi. I'm sorry if I mispronounced. Again, all Ghost Tricks have the same effect, but when this card is flipped face up, you can add from your deck to your hand 1 Ghost Trick monster whose level is less than or equal to the number of Ghost Trick monsters you control. You can use this effect of Ghost Trick Jiangxi once per turn. So, good searcher to get out, again, any of your Ghost Tricks. It says is less than or equal to, so as long as I play this semi-last, it'll be fine. This is just, again, to fill my hand with Ghost Tricks to help activate some stuff. Moving on, we have Stein. Ghost Trick Stein. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can add 1 Ghost Trick spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, and you can only use this effect once per turn. Going into Ghoul. Ghoul we have 3 copies of. Stein we have 2, and Jiangxi we have 2. But Ghoul we have 3 because you can once per turn during your main phase, you can target 1 Ghost Trick you control. Its attack is equal to the combined attack of all Ghost Trick monsters currently on the field until the end of your opponent's next turn. But if it does, only that monster can attack this turn. And here's where you start seeing what I'm doing here. With Stein and Ghoul, you're starting to get a good idea, but let's move on to my favorite Ghost Trick, Ghost Trick Skeleton. When this card is flipped face up, banish cards from the top of your opponent's deck face down up to the number of Ghost Trick monsters you control. You'll use this effect once per turn. Ghost Trick Skeleton can easily mill out your opponent. Say that you have all 5 Ghost Tricks out in the field, right, and they're all face up, and you flip them up last. I do think the Exceeds don't count. Yeah, Ghostrick monsters you control. So if they don't have Ghostrick in the name, I think they do. I think it just doesn't count it. Or I've actually never had a full field, and they were all just like face up. But in a 40-card deck, minusing the 10 to 6 you start off with, you're at 34. And assuming you somehow did all this amazing stuff, yeah, you'd basically be milling like 5 cards from your opponent. Really good for a stall and an alternate win con, but also I just like its stats too. Also good for some Exceeds play. We're very heavy on the 3, which kind of makes me sad that I only have 1 copy of an upcoming monster. Now going to the Mummy. Now his is another important one because he hurries and fills up the field. While the card faces on the field, you can normal summon 1 Ghostrick monster in addition to your normal summoner set. And you can also summon any monsters except dark monsters. That's important because not all Ghostricks are zombies. Ghoul and Skeleton are sure, as well as Stein and Jiangxi, but Fairy is a spellcaster, Jack Frost is a fiend, as well as Spectre and Lantern. They are all dark types. Next up, we have the adorable Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, 2 hand traps for just in case to help stop my opponent from searching. If you control no face-up cards, that's the important part here. Let's say they destroy myself and I haven't activated a trap yet, I can always use Lightning Storm to go and clear the enemy field out of stuff, be it attack position monsters, or spells and trap, and Ragat keys for just monsters, period. We then have 3 Ghostrick Mansions. Why? Because attack monsters cannot attack based on defense position monsters, but can attack directly if all monsters their opponent controls are face down defense position. All effect damage and battle damage inflicted by monsters other than Ghostrick monsters is halved. Next up, we have the Parade, which same thing as the Mansion, except your opponent takes no damage when period. When an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can add 1 Ghostrick card from your deck to your hand. There's a neat little combo you could play there. Unfortunately, Trick Lantern doesn't kind of super work there. I think you have to stop the attack. Yeah, when they declare the attack, so it needs to be in the hand already. This is just good for getting cards out the deck, and just drawing as well as decent draw power. We then have Ghostrick Vanish. Reveal 1 Ghostrick in your hand this turn. Ghostrick you control and face on the defense monster you control cannot be targeted by or destroyed by card effects. Good for keeping up my monsters alive. And again, we have some decent cycling that goes on too with Fairy. We then have Ghostrick Scare. Woo! Target any number of face-down defense position monsters you control, change them to face-up defense position, and count the number of Ghostrick monsters among them. If you do, change that many face-up monsters your opponent controls to face-down defense position, minimum 1. Really good for if I had... Well, there are a couple of cards here, and I think I'm about to get to it, but there's 3 copies of this for a very obvious reason. 1, Solemn Judgment, because Solemn Judgment, and yes, for Ghostrick Vanish we have 2, and Parade we have 2 because we don't want it to supersede the Mansion. We have 2 copies of Ghostrick Go Round because once per turn during the battle phase you can activate one of these effects. Target 1 Ghostrick monster you control, change that target to face down defense position, and if you do, change 1 face down defense position monster your opponent controls to face up attack position. We don't like that effect. We like change target 1 face down defense position monster you control, change that target to face up attack position, and if it is a Ghostrick monster, change 1 face up monster your opponent controls to face down defense position. Good for stopping a lot. You run 2 though, as a once per turn effect. I don't know if both of them count, but if we have both of them on the field, it does help out for another reason. Then we have Ghostrick Knight. While Ghostrick monster on your field, your opponent cannot flip summon. When this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card since the graveyard, your opponent cannot declare attacks for the rest of the turn. Good stall out. 2 of those. Now, as we're nearing the end of the deck list, I'm going to start explaining. Once I finish explaining with all the cards, I'm going to say why. Let's just include an Exodia in here because it's easy to summon. Hey, an Obelisk. You know, Obelisk actually would not be too bad in this deck. He'd be kind of easy to get out. Just like an alternate win con card. That's funny, I didn't think about that. Where's some other card? Oh, that's the Demise Boy. Just looking through now and discovering that, yeah, that's actually a pretty decent idea there. Just throw an Obelisk. I already got multiple monsters. Anyway, Ghostricks Dullahan, only one up because I only own one of. It needs 2 level 1 monsters. Period. Gains 200 attack for each Ghostricks card you control, including itself. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach 1 Xyz from this card, and then target 1 face-up monster on the field, have its attack until the end of the turn. If this card is sent to graveyard, you can target 1 other Ghostricks card in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. I would love to run 2 or even 3 copies of these in this deck, just because of its effect. Moving on, we have So Cute Boss, Ghostricks. Level 2 Ghostricks monsters, or just level 2 monsters, period. So, we're actually not really going to see her, because the only level 2s I have in this deck are Ghost Fairy, and I'll explain that in a second why. But in case we do get her out, or we decide to get her out, once per turn, well, first off, when you control another Ghostricks monster, your opponent cannot target this card for attacks. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, then target 1 face-up monster in the field when attack less than or equal to the combined attack of all Ghostricks monsters in the field. Destroy it, and if you do, that monster zone cannot be used as long as you control a Ghostricks monster. If there were more ways to attach Xyz to Ghostricks. Now, there is another Ghostricks deck I want to try, using the 3 copies of the UR I have over here. All pulled thanks to Jamer, by the way. None of them were crafted. I actually think I crafted Alucard and Dullahan. Speaking of, Alucard! Ghostricks Alucard. 2 level 3 monsters. Super easy in this deck, as you can see. Your monsters your opponent controls cannot target face-up Ghostricks monsters or any face-down Vespers monster for attacks except this one. You can detach 1 Xyz monster, then target 1 set card your opponent controls, destroy that target. You can only use this effect once per turn, and if you send to the graveyard, you can target 1 Ghostricks card in your graveyard, add that card to your hand. So good recycling for Dullahan, or, again, for himself. Now here's the card. The one that, the Ghostricks revolve around. Ghostricks Angel of Mischief, 2 level 4 monsters, or you can also Xyz using a Ghostricks Xyz monster you control as material, except Ghostricks Angel of Mischief, and you transfer all the materials to this card. When the number of materials on this card reaches 10, you win the duel, period. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, add 1 Ghostricks spell or trap from your deck to your hand, and once per turn, you can attach 1 Ghostricks card from your hand to this card's material. So, if I had more ways to get Ghostricks into the hand, and I do, quite frankly, we're pretty set, right? Having both Knights up and both go rounds would also buff the attack of Dullahan here. Oh, and by the way, 3 of So Cute Boss, even though we really should only be running 2. Yeah. 3 Angel of Mischiefs, because she's the strongest attacking one here. 1 Dullahan because I have to, and 1 Alucard because I have to. The idea of this one is to be a more aggressive Ghostricks deck. So I want to use Mansion, Go Round, and Knight, which means I need both of these to be actually at 3. And I want to basically put all my opponent's cards in face-down defense position, and then lock them by having one of my Xyz Ghostricks out. Or potentially my strongest one, which would probably be... I think that's Stein. Stein with 1600 attack. Now, the idea is to just direct attack over my opponent and keep him in lock, using Ghoul to buff up whoever I decide. If I have Stein and Mummy, that Ghostricks already gaining like a truck ton of damage, and Ghoul himself counts too. So with Stein, Mummy, and Ghoul all together on the field, which means I should add another Stein actually. And yeah, we can drop down these 2. Is what I would say until I figured out that it was 45 million. The idea is to basically have these cards on the field, even Skeleton, because once Ghoul powers up one, especially someone like Dullahan, the ideal turn is Dullahan's on the field, right? After using like Lantern and Spectre to like stop attacks, right? Or to make up for a loss, right? Flip, summon him out. Summon Mummy. Mummy gets to allows me to summon up another one. So it'd probably be Ghoul. Ghoul summon. Ghoul buffs up Dullahan. Dullahan goes in charging, smacks him down. But both Ghoul and Mummy face down again. Flip Mummy first, throw down maybe Skeleton and Stein. Or maybe just go attacking with Stein as well, since Stein can help me add the cards I'm searching for. The whole idea is to be aggressive with this deck instead of doing the stall out. And I noticed that Ghostrick can do the stall. Ghostrick's also another very good target for having in the deck because using So Cute or Alucard, put them literally as part of the material, use Alucard as a material to get another Ghostrick card from the graveyard to the hand. It's just basically trying to recycle, right? But yeah, that's the idea behind the deck. I want to try doing a more aggressive deck for this because I think I can make it work, right? It requires a little bit of smarter play, and I think I've been failing with that a lot. There's a reason why the other Ghostricks aren't in here. Just go ahead and show that off. I put a slash at the end by accident. So yeah, I don't have Neko or Doll in here because specifically Doll can make me flip my own things face down, which I don't want to always do. Neko, her effect, while good, it's too defensive and stally for me. Werewolf. Werewolf actually has to be at the start of it, and he's not a bad one to have in here for going more aggressive. But I'm not the biggest fan of that effect, just because it's a burn effect. Witchy actually would be really nice for this deck. I almost want to remove the Jacks for the Witches, because that might be a little bit better. Maybe even getting rid of the Spectre. Actually, the Jack would be the best, and maybe one Spectre. No, I want to keep the Spectres. I'd probably get rid of a Lantern. Or maybe put away one of the Scares that's already attached onto a monster. I didn't realize that. Yuki! What does Yuki Onna do? He can change his card to face on position. Actually, Yuki Onna and Witch might be better additions to this deck to be more aggressive. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna put in 2 and 3. We can drop Jack. Adding to the hand makes you worth keeping. As much... you know what? Yeah, I think we'll try to run it like this. So the deck's already evolved because I think that this is more offensive base, right? Because flip face up, target one goes face down, and it's my opponent control specifically. And Yuki as well. She's a first turn destroyed by battle, and if we recycle her too, actually, yeah, we can drop a Witch instead. And keep it. Cause I don't want the deck to go to 50. I actually can put away a Stein and a Skeleton. I'd rather keep it at 45, but this is kind of alright right now. Actually, I really don't need another Scare, though, if we're having this many, so I think this is nice. Alright, well, this is the updated deck list now. We have 3 Lanterns, 3 Spectres, 2 Witch, 3 Yuki Onna, 2 Fairy, 2 Zhangxi, 2 Stein, 3 Ghoul, 2 Skeleton, 3 Mummy, 2 Ash Blossom, obviously, 1 Regeki, because only one is you can only have one, 1 Lightning Storm, 3 Mansions, 3 Parades, 2 Vanish, 2 Scares, 1 Judgment, 3 Rounds, and 3 Knights. Actually, I can, because that's 2 and 2. That actually means I can put in... Yeah, I can actually put back in all 3. Oh, there is a card I do want to see if I have. Just because of what's being run currently. Oh, dang it. Unfortunate. Okay, you know, we'll just put in one copy of that to be safe. Just because I kind of want to stop this deck that's been running around. So we now also have one Kaiju Turtle. Yeah. The temptation is really real to put an Obelisk, I'm not going to lie. Alright, so that's the newly updated Ghost Trick and Trick deck, though we will rename it to... There we go. I like that. Alright, Ghost Trick Hauntings. I just keep that deck there till I know for a fact that I'm done with it. So, changing the accessories. I actually kind of want to go with... Yeah, because a lot of them are Dark type. Protector as Ash Blossom is fine. That's fine. Actually, no, the Ghost Tricks are silly, so that's better. That's fine. 3 main cards? I'd actually almost argue that my 3 main cards are probably... Gohan? Mansion. Actually, no. Gohan should be first. Mischief, and then I'm actually going to argue that Duel is probably the one, because he's the one that's supposed to be game changing with the parade. Yeah, there we go. Alright, well, we're going to take this into matches in the next video, and I hope that goes well. But anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of the deck, please. And if you guys like it enough, I might just see about, you know, I don't know, maybe posting it up for anyone to try out. And, I think I can publish this, right? I don't know. Maybe it's already up there because I play it. But yeah, that's going to be it. Like I said, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, you know what to do. Much appreciate you if you do. And I just want to say, laters.